just with one. Nǹkan tó tẹ̀ tí wọlé gan, ṣó tẹ̀ tí wá ni? Wọ́n ì tí wá.
Welcome to Do the Thought Podcast. This is a real estate podcast that teaches the regular people how to invest in real estate. My name is Hamed Lawal, and my co-host here today is Ibrahim Ojenide. We are committed to making investments in real estate seamless as much as possible. So, if you are looking to invest in real estate, you have come to the right place. Like we always said every week, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You will have to put in the work, like actually work it for it to work for you. Ibrahim, it's another Friday, it's another episode, a lovely one actually. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad to be here tonight. Hey guys, we want this to be an interactive section. We always say this every week. We appreciate you coming, joining us tonight. Please share this podcast to your friends, your neighbor, your coworker. Everyone can benefit from this. We will appreciate it if you can drop your comment, concerns in the chat. Um, we feel very honored that you guys coming in and you know tune into the show and see what we are talking about. It is very beneficial to every one of us. We are committed to make sure we provide a practical and a practical path to building your financial freedom. We are committed doing this, and every Friday we make sure we provide this knowledgeable and valuable information that it's going to beneficial to everyone, everyone around you. Be a new person and newbie, like people that are still learning how to, or still thinking they want to start real estate. You don't have to start real estate before you have to come to this show. We're going to teach you from the beginning. I mean, we've done a lot of episodes that you can go back to and learn from it. Okay, it's really a good thing that you guys tune into the show, and we appreciate that. So today we're going to talk about middle term renting. That's the topic for tonight. And we are excited to bring you all the pros, the cons, and literally all the important information you need to know about middle term leasing. Ahmed, so we know we have long term, we know there's short term, but I'm pretty sure, as I am excited tonight to learn, how middle term renting works. And as the same way, I'm here to share the information that I know about it, because I learn from you, and uh, you know vice versa, you gain from me as well. So
Yeah.
so you are an expert in middle term leasing. So I am excited that we bring out this topic so you can pass the wealth of knowledge. And I'm ready. I got my pen here, by the way. I'm
Oh,
ready to write down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and I'm pretty sure our audience, they can't wait to hear from you. Ahmed, what is middle
yeah.
term renting? What do we need to know about it? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. You know, I'm flattered by your introduction. So, well, before I define middle term renting, this is I just want to point this out for our audience. Like, I dropped our YouTube channel in the chat box. Please share this video because this is where a lot of people get stuck in their thinking. Like, okay, if I buy the property, how do I make money, right?
Yeah.
Tonight, we are going to be going through one of the strategies that give higher return on your investment, which is midterm renting. So you want to
Okay.
share this with your loved ones so that they
Yeah.
can benefit from this information as well. Thank you as you do so. We really appreciate that. So back to the question, Ibrahim. Midterm renting is really a bridge between long leasing and short leasing. What is long leasing? Long leasing is you are renting out an apartment, either furnished or unfurnished, to someone that stayed there for a year or more. To someone that stayed there for a year or more. So if you are doing long leasing, that is what almost everybody are familiar with. You know, we once rent an apartment as well. So that is long leasing, really. Short term, on the other hand, is where you furnish an apartment up, put everything that a person need in a house in that unit and rent it out per night.
Okay.
So instead of renting it out for a year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, people do 3 years lease. You rent it out per night. So people that just come to the city just to see their grandma, stay there 2 nights and leave. You know, you clean it up, get it ready again, and people that comes to visit, maybe they just come for a tourist, for 3 days, for a week, sometime, or 2, 3 weeks is still considered short term, right? Where it crossed the bridges over to middle term. So short term is like a night up to 3 weeks. Where it cross that bridge over into middle term is around 28 days.
Okay.
So when it goes over 28 days, it's now considered middle term. Mind you, you might be doing middle term why some people come and stay a week or two. That depends on you. So
Mhm.
it's not like, oh, they stay 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's a short term. It's still a short term and as well as a middle term. It's what you make of it. That is the good thing about real estate. It's how you make it that works. Whatever works for you is what works, right? So middle term is where people that travel for work, travel for medical tourists, travel for they want to be in an area for weeks, but not long enough to sign a year lease. They want to be in an area for weeks, but not long enough to consider them a resident, right? Every state has a time that when you spend that time in that state, you become a resident of that state. They even advise that you change your driver license from other states to the driver license of that state because you've lived 90 days, 180 days, 120 days in that state, right? So these people are not staying long enough, or they are staying long enough that just don't will. They just want they don't want to be considered a permanent resident of that state. So this is where middle term solve their problem. Someone is coming in, they don't want to stay in an hotel because it's very, very choky to them. Maybe they don't want to climb step, or they are scared of elevators and all those fancy things in the hotel. They want their privacy. They don't want people next door to be hearing what they are saying or discussing, or when they are having fun with their wife at night. They don't want someone that is like that close to them. They want their privacy, they want their space at the price that is very, very affordable. So I'm trying to describe, because a lot of people will be like, why do I need a midterm? Why can't I just go to a hotel? This is the kind of problem that middle term is solving. It's actually providing a solution to. So these people want to stay somewhere, but they don't really want to commit themselves to the lease or stay in an hotel. So who are these people? A lot of time, it can be a student. I've hosted a medical student before. They are in their final year. They just want to do their, I don't know what the program is called, for a certain period of time before they actually go back to their final uh, city or state. And a travel professional, Ibrahim, you are a registered nurse. You know what I'm talking about. Hospital right now need a lot of nurses, and we are short in the United States. Generally, we are short of nurses. So they the hospitals are putting out incentive to entice nurses from all walks of life in the United States to come down to their hospital and serve. Right? I call it serve because nurses are doing a lot more than they are getting paid. If you think they are getting paid a lot, go to the hospital and spend a day there. You will see what I'm talking about. I've had people change their mind by visiting an hospital. Like, is this what they do every day? I don't want to be. So they entice these people to come and serve in their hospital. So these people need place to stay, and they don't want to stay in an hotel as well. They don't want to be buying furniture. They don't want to commit to a long list. These are the people that need the service of midterm renting. People that stayed in an extended hotel, people that stay weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. These are the people that need midterm leasing, as well as people that are on tourists. What I mean by that is there are some people that are on tourists for fun, but there are some people that are on medical tourists as well. That the type of treatment that they need is not provided anywhere else other than that certain hospital. When they come to that kind of hospital, they need where to stay while they are getting the treatment, because they cannot just stay in the hospital. Right. So these are the kind of people. I just described little out of many options. I'm currently hosting someone that is actually a security for all these bully van that move money around. Jobs that are temporary jobs. They just need them for a certain time, and when the job is done, they go back to their base. Right. These are the people that need middle time. The Ibrahim, do you have any details that you want to add to that? Because I know I cannot hit it all. I mean, there's a lot of information to
Sure,
be put
sure,
out there.
sure. I think you've touched the major the category of people that typically comes to middle time renting. I just want to add to it. You didn't talk about like people that are facing natural disaster through, and then the insurance have to relocate them to somewhere else, and or people that are. Oh, you mentioned that about the contractors and all those. You've mentioned
Yeah.
that already. Um, so I guess the only thing you did not say are the people that are working for that the insurance have to put them into a safe haven just because there's a um either
Can
natural or
you can you elaborate more on that? Like what make those people need those temporary house?
yes, things happen. Sometimes it's a natural where tornado, flood, um, storm, bad storm, and there's a lot of water um, overflow in the house, or let's say the septic tank is bad and there's overflow and overflow the whole house, or there's a fire, the kind of fire that damage the whole house and the person or significant part of the house, and it's unlivable. So first of all, they will have to take that person to a hotel that night so they can sleep somewhere, or they get an Airbnb for that person or the family to go somewhere that night. But after a week or two, or even before that, it depends on that insurance company and how the process of them transferring them. Because some insurance are very fast, and some they take time to do all that. So then they will have to take them to a short-term place, maybe hotel or Airbnb or via Vrbo or all that stuff. Then after they've done their investigation, they like to investigate, try to see what is the cause of the incident, um, regardless of what it is, they still have to provide that, a place where those people have to live. They have to provide that for them. They are doing the investigation to see if they can prevent that in the future, or to see if they have to repair that problem, because their goal at that moment is not just to jump into repair. They want to know what caused the problem. So along the line, it takes some days for them to even, you know start fixing the house. So they'll take them to somewhere. After that, they will now start looking for a more affordable something in that area that the person is living, because they do that. That way the person feels like, okay, I'm still in my area. Besides, they are trying to work with the kind of lease or the kind of payment that typically people in that area they pay for housing. Because let me give you an example. If somebody is living in, for example, someone is living in south side, and maybe the lease in that area is 1,500. If there's a disaster, the insurance would typically, for the first 1 or 2 days, they let you pick wherever you want, just to live somewhere first, at least to get settled first. Then after a while, they would like to get a lease around that area where your rent will not be too crazy, because they they want to match the kind of life you live in, or a little more, but not too expensive. So my point here is, they will not let someone who is living south side to now go get a long, like a middle term renting in Carmel, where the rent will be like, or in downtown, where it'll be like 9,000, or 8,000 or 7,000. They won't do that. They will try to make sure it matches what you have a little bit more. They can tolerate that, but there's a gauge. Anyway, they have to relocate you just because of that disaster. And who will benefit from this? First of all, the family. Although we know they face that disaster, however, when I say the benefit, I'm saying the middle term renting, because the landlord provide this, you know, its resources, which is the house. So the tenant will benefit from it in the sense that without that program, he or she may not have, or the family may not have where to stay. So when I say benefit, I'm saying with all sense of responsibility, that they benefit in the sense that they are able to get somewhere to stay temporarily. And when the house is done, they go to their beautiful home. Of course, it might not be as beautiful as their home, or in some situation, it might be more beautiful than what they have. However, their home is their home. So, but here, that services, at least it helps them to feel more like they are in their environment, they are in their home. Because if you stay in a hotel, you majority of the hotel, you cannot cook, you cannot, you'll be hearing some sound, somebody walking the hallway, somebody crazy talking too loud, someone, and if you go outside, people smoking and all that. I mean, if you are the kind of person, or your family, you don't mess with secondhand smoke, cigarette, and all that stuff, you probably won't find hotel attractive like that. It's somewhere you go temporarily and get out. You will not like to live there for a long time. So middle town renting is where people like that come in play. I mean, the landlord come in play and try to help solve that problem, because most of the time insurance will finish the house within 3 to 6 months, or sometimes 9 months. And 9 months, anything between 9 months, 0 to 9 months, it still falls into the middle term renting. So, um, I mean, for example, I mean, I'm experiencing one right now. I mean, we haven't started yet. We will start at the end of the month, which is October 30th. That's when the tenant will come in, into middle term renting, of course. And this person, she experienced flood, and
Wow.
the insurance, they are working on it. They've done the investigation. I don't care to know that. That's a private thing. Um, if they did intentionally or not, or if it's whatever, um, the kind of money, the kind of coverage she has, or all that, we don't focus too much on that. We want to provide a service, like by getting them a temporary stay somewhere that is neat, beautiful, and accommodating for their family. So anyway, she's gonna start on the 30th, and she's gonna stay for 2 months. And my duty is to make sure the house, make it clean, comfortable, and at least help them feel like they are at home for that short period of time before they move to their normal house. So Ahmed,
Yeah.
um, briefly, I just talk about middle time renting. Of course, there's still a lot to unpack. What do we have some situation where somebody comes, it's just one person, and you have 3 bedrooms, and this person cannot or may not be able to, or not planning to pay, because some people have the money but they just don't want to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And this person doesn't want to pay for 3 rooms. Is there any way around it, or as a landlord, I'm stuck that I just have to give that room to that person for one person charge? Like, let's say the person want to pay 1,500, and you have 3 rooms, and for sure you are open to get more than that. What can you do?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Ibrahim. So really, that's what I said. The beauty of real estate earlier, like the beauty of real estate is what you make of it.
Sure.
Um, there's something in middle term renting called rent by room.
Oh, great.
Pretty much, uh, set up the house like you normally would, and rent it by room. Like this works best for travel nurses that are friends. It works a lot smoother with them, because you and I know that having multiple people in the unit is it can be a headache sometimes. Managing a lot of people is a headache. However, if they are friends, they like to get houses together. I've had people approach me in the past, like, "Hey, I have a friend of mine that want to rent as well. This 2 bedroom will be a good fit for us. Can we move in and live here together?" Which is absolutely all right.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure it works for you. It suits your investment strategy.
Yeah.
You don't want them to push you into what you are not comfortable with. So yeah, it's absolutely what you make of it. If that person wants to get a one room, you can always tell them like, hey, well, I can do your price, but is it okay for me to get these other people that might be needing of the other room? You guys will share the common area, like the living room and all that. But it also work best when you have multiple bathroom in the house. Let's say you have a 4 bedroom, 3 baths. That is a perfect scenario, because now you can get 2 people, like they are having 3 people into the house, like they are having one room, one bathroom. So they don't have to share bathroom. The big thing about the travel professionals are they don't want to share bathroom. So they want that comfy, they want their comfortability, they really want to uh have the feel of ownership.
And
So they
privacy.
don't, yeah, and privacy as well. So that is where the ups and down can come in when you are renting by room. But once you get a good handle of it, it's a very profitable business actually, because a 3 bedroom house that you are supposed to be giving out for like 3,000, now you can do it per room for 1,213, and that is bringing extra 900 in. So it can be profitable if someone gets a good handle of it. If you are a people person, if you are a relationship oriented person, not people like me. I am straightforward. I hit it on the net. Sometimes I have to get a text message from people and hold on for like 5 minutes for me to actually think, because if I shoot it back to you, it's going to be straight. I don't beat around the bush. So I always take my time sometime, because in hospitality business, which is what midterm renting is,
Yes.
you just have to know how to respond. Sometimes people say things to you that you just need to calm their nerve down, and respond in a way that we disarm them. Because someone wants to attack you and you smile, they will be like, well, it takes 2 people to fight. And if
Mm.
you try to fight me and I'm not fighting you, then there's no fight, right? So to be able to disarm them, you need to know how to manage. So that is the only issue I see with renting by room, but it's a very, very profitable business, especially when you get it in a very good location where the prices of houses are high. So I'm going to throw this back to you
Okay,
so that we can move quickly.
sure.
In your opinion, what do you think? Uh, like I know we've hit a little bit on some of them, but the advantage of midterm renter. What if you are to mention a few of them, what would be which one would be on top of your list?
Yeah. So the major one that I think it is big for me, it's the consistent and high return. The reason why I said that, it might not be the highest return because if you do short and you're in a good city and very busy and tourist city where a lot of people come and do tourism and all that, you might make more with short. However, with long term, it's less responsibility but high earnings. So if you ask me, one of the biggest benefit or pros of middle term renting is high return and lesser responsibilities. Now, some people will say, I'm not gonna do middle term renting because of I'm cut, I'm shortchanging myself by not doing the short term because short term you make more money. But I kind of, because of what I'm experiencing right now, I feel like that isn't necessarily true, because it's not necessarily true because when I look at what I'm gonna get for this insurance, relocation stuff that is going on, it's about like 165 per night. No, about 163 per night. On my short term right now, it's possible to get it for 138. Depending on how I feel or how the market is looking, I can change the price and all that. But someone who is coming for 30 days or more, the person will actually pay 163 per night. So I'm sure this is not gonna be everyday thing. It just depends on the package, because if the person had come to me directly, I probably won't be able to get that amount. But because it's associated with relocation and insurance and all that, kind of help with the revenue at the same time. um, it makes you more, um, how do I say this? It's more responsibility in the sense that you have to kind of meet up with the insurance requirement, like make sure their client is good, take care of the customer, and which is not a problem for me because that's what I have always been doing. So I don't see any extra package and baggage with that. I see it as a normal, okay, somebody wants to get my house, I have to give them the best service as always. So I don't have any problem with that. I just but the fact is, with middle term renting, averagely you might not get like short term. However, you make higher income, higher return more than the long term lease. So return is definitely number one. The second is consistent income. It's one thing to get good income. The second is to get consistent. Like it keeps just dropping into your account every month. Versus the long term you get every month. Don't get me wrong, but you cannot compare when you cash flowing $1,000 compared to 300 or 400. But keep in mind the appreciation, the depreciation, everything is still there for you as a middle term. So it's not like with long term, it's not like there's an extra package that you don't have with middle. No. In fact, middle you get more cash flow, but you still have all those packages. So
Absolutely.
I feel like consistent um income and high income. Those are the two big ones for me. Um, what do you think is?
Yeah. So in my end, I actually like the fact that it came from you that it is not necessarily true that if you are doing middle term renting, you cannot get the price of short term renting. We've we've talked about this in the past, and I really enjoy hearing that from you. Uh, so yes, like I said, for me, it's really about professionals that you are hosting. These guys just need your place for a while. you know um they take good care of it. A lot of them work majorly, consultants, researchers, travel nurses, medical doctors, airplane pilots. These are professionals that they've done well for themselves. They know what it takes to take care of themselves, and they don't really cause trouble. They don't started shoving something in your toilet and is shouting, "Oh, the toilet is broken. You need to come and fix it," just because they want to get return from you. They want to get a refund from you and stuff like that. So avoiding problem is big thing for me. So I think hosting professionals really helps. Uh, you know, I used to have this security door camera in my property, and I see how their movements are. I can easily predict when someone is going to be home. Uh, that is not to say I'm monitoring them, but I want what my point is. These guys always walk. They don't even stay in that unit that long. They just need somewhere they can call home if eventually they want to rest, right? So this is something that I cherish a lot, because it leads to the second point. The second point is the move out to repairs that I'm going to do when the renter leaves. In a lot of people and I know that when you want to when tenants move out, it's sometimes the repair and that can be a very huge bring a huge impact on your finances at the end of the year. So so hosting a professional leads to them keeping your units very clean and taking care of your units, and leads to you not making a whole lot of repairs that takes away all your cash flow at the end of the day. So that is huge thing for me. I know there are other
Benefit.
advantage, like but let's quickly, because of time, let's quickly run into, do you oh, hold on. Before we move on, thank you guys for tuning in. I just want to let you know that we do this every Friday. Please and please, give your constructive review, and like this, subscribe, and send this to your friend. We share all these gems and very good informative informations every Friday at 8 p.m. We will be here next Friday, inshallah. Ibrahim, let me throw this back to you. Now we've talked about advantage of middle term renting. What will be your biggest disadvantage if you had to pick?
That's a very great question. Before I answer that question, I want to take you back. You mentioned something about camera. I'm assuming you're talking about exterior camera, right? It's just
Exterior
the one,
camera,
yeah,
yes.
just the one outside, just to
Yes.
monitor,
Yes.
um, you know, someone who wants to come in and steal stuff, or just
Yep.
um, just for safety.
Yes.
That's what I'm assuming you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. So I thought I should just go over that again for our audience to know it's not like you snooping,
Yeah.
or you trying to
No,
steal.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, it's
No.
exterior camera. Okay. So my honestly, the cons to middle term, it applies to all the time. Short, long, it doesn't matter. You're gonna face the same, like middle term. I cannot call it con. I think, okay, maybe I should say it this way. The middle term comes with expectation. For example, if somebody comes to your middle term renting, rental, they feel like it should be furnished. They feel like it should be, clean. They feel like it should be, and this is normal stuff. It should be clean. It should be furnished. It should have the normal amenities like microwave, fridge, and so that expectation is there. And I don't necessarily see it as cons. I just see it like some of the responsibility that you have to uptake as a landlord to make sure your tenant feel comfortable and feel that that place is somewhere they can he or she can stay overnight. um the the, the cons, I'll still mention it, but I mean it's not only only um unique to mealtime rentings for everything, which is a tenant come in and that person feel comfortable and the person doesn't want to leave. But that can happen to any kind of long, short, it doesn't matter. The person will come in and try to stay in your house and you know um, don't want to pay after the time expire, because middle term it gives them the room to lease your place until 9 months. I mean, there's no rules that says you cannot let them stay for a year. It's up to you, because real estate, in actual sense, based on what in addition to what Ahmed has said, you can make it what you want, honestly. Even though it's middle, you can make it more than a year. It's up to you. And you go back to your middle again if you see. So it really depends on how you want it to be structured. But if someone comes in and they like your place, the amenities are great, great furnitures, great everything, and this person does not have where to live or anything, he or she might be attempting or actually trying to, stay over and up, without paying and all that. So, but that can happen to anything, either short or long. So, that is there, but it's nothing to be afraid of, because every business has his or her own headache. We just, as an investor and as a someone who is learning and try to grow every day, we there's always a solution for something like that. So you coming to this podcast is part of the assignment that you need to do, and of course you are doing it now. So just stay tuned, and we're gonna tell you some of the things that you know that might help in that situation. Ahmed, so let me assume somebody comes to my house and and the person feels so comfortable and they don't want to leave. I mean, you don't necessarily have to um just what are the minor things I can do to just the minor one I can do that typically might help kind of tell the person to leave without going to court or anything like that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ibrahim. Yeah, thank you for bringing the camera issue back. Yeah, it's our outdoor camera. It's nothing to spy on anybody. It's just a extra layer of protection. And actually, if you are doing it, even when it is outside, you really need to declare it to them.
Yeah.
I have a unit that I take that camera out out because the person staying there doesn't want it there.
Okay.
So you really need to declare those camera if you have it anywhere in the house. If that is facing back or is facing the front, is facing the side, you need to declare it. So thank you for bringing that up. It opens the room to explain more about it. So coming back to the question, really, if you want to get someone that is squatting in your place and doesn't want to leave, if you want to get them out, there are ways to go about it, but you have to be very very law abiding by doing so. So don't go and violate anybody's right just because you want to get them out. But it is easy with midterm renting. Why do I say that? Because all the furnitures, all the kitchenettes, all the microwave, the refrigerator, everything in the house, you provided it, right?
Yeah.
You can as well take them. It doesn't belong to the person. So unlike long term where they provide mattress, chair, so it's easy, it's not easy to evict them. It's not easy to boggle them out. But in midterm, it's actually easy because you can take all your belongings out of the house and leave the house empty. You know, you can take everything out of the house, put it in a storage, and give them some days. They will leave because there's nothing that, you know, they are not seeing TV to watch anymore. They can't warm their food. They can't do this and that. So they will end up leaving. And it even gets sweeter if you are doing arbitrage. We encourage you to buy house to do this, but when you are doing arbitrage, you can go to your landlord and be like, hey, I want to break my lease. What will it cost me? Probably going to take your the deposit away. That is fine, but to take that pain out of your way, I don't think that deposit is going to be something that will prevent you from doing it. So just break the lease, and the person have an agreement in between you and the tenant. The agreement is not between the tenant and the landlord. So once you are out of the picture, then the tenant can easily call the police and drag him or her out of the place. So case settles, right? So, but I understand that that is a business loss because now you know you have to find a place to keep all your stuff and all that. It's not always a pleasant uh,
Experience.
process. But that is where service comes in, right? So a lot of time people want to do bad thing, but when you are being good, that just sublime everything. You know, that just disarm them because they see you've been too nice to them to hurt. You've been too nice to them to hurt. You've been so kind. They've called on you. You jump on it right away, and so it's really helps when you provide great service. And believe me, it will prevent prevent issues like that. So for the disadvantage of midterm renting, honestly, I love it. I don't have any. Honestly, I can't think of anything right now, and I that is because I don't think I have any. So it's really key for our audience to learn exit strategies, which midterm renting is one of them, because this is where the money is being made. The process of buying real estate, have these, use these strategies and all that, none of it will make sense if you are not making money. None of it will make sense if your property is not appreciating. None of it, and you can't just leave a property empty and open is going to be appreciating. It's going to be, you know, if you don't live in a property, you will know how it looks at the end of the day. So this is where the money is being made, and it should be an enticing topic to everybody. So um I think I hit everything that I have written down. But midterm renting is really the gem right now. If you have any extra question from everything we've discussed tonight, you can reach out because why? Uh, you and I we are discussing this earlier this week, Ibrahim. Government, local, and state, city, and all these level of government are cracking down on short-term renting. They are trying to build permit into it, and mid-term renting is just take you a little bit over the line, fine line of short-term, and that is still you can still make the same amount of cash flow that you are
Or even
you are
more,
making.
even more,
Yeah,
even
so
more.
you see, my friend, my friend here used to defend short time renting. Now he's saying even more.
Even more. Yeah.
So yeah, so that is a very good investment strategy right now, which is why we are bringing it to you. Like we always say, do the talk. We bring in practical uh, information to you. Ibrahim just share his experience. And another thing I want to chip in, I almost forgot this, Ibrahim, is even if you are doing short-term renting, There is a way on Airbnb platform that you can only set it to get midterm renting guests. This is something that's not everybody will be talking about, but there is a way to set it so that you will be getting midterm renting guests.
Yeah.
So I don't know all the step off my head, but if you go on to the calendar part of it, you are going to see availability and pricing. And if you play around, you will be see where you can set under, I think it's under category where you can set it to long term, and where they will push your listing up for people that are looking to stay 3, 4, 5 months. One thing about Airbnb though is they will requested you give a lot of discount to these people because they are staying for a longer period of time. But if as long as it makes sense to you, who cares how much discounts you are giving, right?
Yeah.
Who cares how much discounts as long as that unit makes sense? So that is another way to package your listing on a short-term renting platform to even get midterm renter uh, 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 tenants. So it happens that I just have one bedroom ready like 2 weeks ago. Within a space of 1 week, I have a four months inquiry and I have a 3 months inquiry, and all these
Right.
one
That's
one
nice.
2 months. So it is just so sweet to learn all these strategies. But when you are not in the room with people that are actually doing it, it feels lonely. It feels lonely. That is why we always want to come on here live. We are not doing recording. We can easily do recording and deliver it to you, but we want you guys to bring in your questions so that we can learn together. We can share things and we can actually answer your questions live. So, Ibrahim, that should be everything from my hand. Do you have any other thing related to the topic or any other general thing?
Well, I'll go general. So, I mean, we've talked about all this, and it's you storing information or knowledge in your brain without putting it to work or without practicalizing it. Like, just it's like you just setting the knowledge on the shelf without putting it to practice. It's invaluable in that stance. So you have to really get started, talk to people, take action. um it's a waste of knowledge if you just keep it and you're not using it. By the way, it will not change your situation if all you do is just pile it, stockpile all the knowledge, all the information. um do not try to, like, do not listen to that thought of, okay, I need to keep getting more information until I start, because you'll be surprised. You will never get all the information, no matter what. You will never get it. As long as you've watched all the back videos, the one that we've done here and do the talk. You give us a call to get, the base. If there's anything that is confusing or anything, call us, ask questions. If you can get all that, jump into action, try it. If there's no mistake that you will make that someone else has never made before. Like, you're probably gonna do the same mistake that people have made before, and you can learn from it. you know we are here to try to kind of limit or mitigate the kind of error you make. At the same time, it's not um it's not guaranteed that you won't make mistake. You still definitely make mistake. We just don't want it to be too devastating where you'll be like, oh, I'm quitting real estate. No, that's why we are giving you all this knowledge, try to share with you our personal experience. That way, you are kind of immune into towards some error that you don't necessarily have to make. Guys, like we have said, we'll be always saying this. Please keep coming to Do the Talk podcast. Learn from this episode, all the episode we've done, and this the one we're doing today. Put it into action. Go for it. Long term, short term, whatever works for you. I personally, I'm liking middle term now. I'm thinking from short to middle. That's where I'm going. but because real estate is just so large that there are different angles. All these strategies. Even though we say middle term is a strategy, but believe me, the same middle term, there are different
It's
niche.
yeah.
There are different niche
Yep.
that you can target.
Yep.
You know, um, you can target those people that needs to relocate because of disaster, or contractors, or nurses, healthcare professionals, i- different kind of angle. So you have to figure out what works for you. But stay at the sideline, and you know I know you some people have been thinking about this since 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Come on, guys, you need to jump into action. Try it, and you will learn from it. Ahmed, what do you have to say before we
Yeah.
wrap up?
So what you just said make me remember what I was planning to talk about earlier. So even in middle time, there are a lot of varieties of animal that you can kill
Yeah,
depending on your spec.
yeah,
Ibrahim discussed insurance. There's travel nurses. There is Airbnb I mentioned earlier. There is
mm,
just so much travel. There is airlines.
yeah,
If you have all these luxury houses, the pilots that comes to town to stay the weekend, they can stay there. They
yeah,
can You can have a contract directly with the airline, depending on
yeah,
how you work it.
yeah.
So it is just so beautiful. But if you don't take action, there's nothing that will happen really. Nothing will
Nothing.
happen. We can tell you this is what we see this week. This is the mistake we made. But it's not your own experience, really. It is mine. So you have to explore to have your own experience too. It is okay. It is good to have to walk in parks, because what the mistake Ibrahim made, I can easily avoid it by talking to Ibrahim. The mistake that deal make on his deal, I can easily avoid it by talking to deal. So that is why it's good to work in parks, but you cannot avoid all the mistakes that is in real estate or in the whole world. To speak of the entire lifestyle, it is not possible. So it's why it's good to work in parks. It is your personal experience, so you need to actually work it. So on that note, this is going to be the end. We don't have any questions from our audience today. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Thank you,
Thank
D.
you.
We always
Thank you,
love
D.
you.
I
And
appreciate you.
yeah, so at this point, if there's nothing else, we will see you next week.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Thank you. Bye.